request our resource person, Mr. Prashant sir, to take over this. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir, and I welcome everybody to this session once again. Now we are going to study some advanced visual figures. This is something which are a little more tricky, a little more difficult to create than the normal regular charts. So the best way to learn this, the best way to do this is please practice simultaneously. Do whatever I'm doing on my computer, and you do whatever I'm telling you. So this is the best way to learn this, because otherwise you might not be able to do it the same way in next few hours or next few days. So let's begin, and if you could allow me to share my screen. I just share my screen. Can you see my screen, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Great. So let's begin this session. This is now about advanced visual analytics. The way we're going to proceed here, we're going to create some 3D charts, some charts which overlap each other, which present information which is more than what would usually come in a simple chart. This becomes very important when you are passing this message, passing on analysis and insights to your clients. How do you do that in a minimum space? How do you ensure that the idea, the message is bright and clear, the message is absolutely fantastically presented, and is very much readable and understandable? So let's begin with a simple one, and then we'll increase the complexity of the charts as we go forward. Now this is a simple chart which shows you the sales and profits of each product subcategory. Now, often you would have come across situations, you would have seen me and other people doing some, what do you say, making some charts and paragraphs and figures. Uh, but somehow, I'm not sure if somebody has covered all of this already or not, using multiple fields to create an analysis. Now, often we come across situations wherein companies not only talk about the top line, which is the revenues, but also the bottom line, which are the profits. So, if an item is getting me maximum sales, it does not mean a lot for me. If an item is getting me maximum profits, it does not mean a lot of me. My best category is is the one which is the highest selling and the most profitable. I need to focus on that one. My least selling items with the least profits, probably I should discontinue. How should we create those charts? Now, if you look at this figure, on the x-axis we have sales, and on the y-axis we have the profits. uh, Very clearly this tells me that telephones and communications have the highest sales and have the highest profits in numeric terms. Office machines have a lot of sales and a good amount of profit. Binders and binder accessories have good amount of sales and a good amount of profits. So if you see this particular quadrant, this is my best, highest sales and highest profit. My best selling items. I can go on taking a decision to probably create strategies to tap the unentered market, to enter more markets with these particular categories, because they're obviously proven they're high selling and high profit items. What do I do with what are my least selling, and what are my those subcategories which I need to stop selling? Envelopes, labels, pens, scissors, they give me negative profits, they give me very less sales. Why do I sell them? Or if I need to sell them, do I create a better strategy to do that? Do I need to focus more? Do I need to downsize? Do I need to hire more experienced managers? Do I need to, uh, you know, uh, maybe rationalize the value chain, the supply chain? What decisions do I need to take on these categories, because these are giving me less sales and less profits? These things which I'm talking about only happen when you present the information in the right manner, when you present the information in a tactful manner, and this is one way to do this. Let's learn how do we do that. Let's go to a new sheet. We'll say product subcategory. Very simply, we'll double click on the product subcategory, and we'll do exactly what we used to create simple charts. We'll choose sales from here in the measures, and we'll also choose profits. What we have done is we have taken product subcategories, we have chosen profits, and we have chosen sales. What do we do now? We go to the show me. This is the way to create charts. We choose the scatter plot chart. Now, this is a simple chart. I can't say this is an advanced basic analytics, advanced basic visualization, but we'll increase the complexity as we go on. Let's go to this menu and move this to circle. And from the size sub tab in the mark section, we can increase the size. I'll pick up the product subcategory and drag and drop into labels. So I can very clearly see that telephones and communications are my highest selling item with the highest profit, and labels, pens, envelopes, and rubber bands are my least selling item with the least profit. So this quadrant is something we need to focus on. This we need to aggressively sell to earn more profits and to earn more sales for my company. So this is very simple. You just need to drag and drop product subcategories, choose profits, choose sales, and from show me tab, you just need to create a scatter plot chart. For each of this visualization which we create, sometimes Tableau gives you certain options of choosing what you can probably do. Now, if you see, you can create a simple table, but difficult to read. You can create this visualization, which I don't understand what it means. You can create something like this, but again, not the probably the bestest way of representing it. This visualization means nothing. It's absolute waste of time. This could mean something. This gives me the profits and sales together, but I cannot create an analysis that what is my highest selling and what is my highest profit. Maybe we can, but again, I would call not the best way to do this. So often you would see that Tableau would give you an options to create multiple visualizations, but you will have to be trained enough to understand that which particular visualization would give the most impact, and not just to yourself but to your clients and to your management. So in this case, this is a 2x2 scatter plot chart which could be used to plot sales and profits together and to decide the strategy of the company going forward. So now we'll move to a rather complex chart, which is something very interesting, and I'm sure you must have learned how to create charts in Tableau, right? A simple geographic charts, which is represented by sales in different regions. Now the data, since it caters to the United States, we have the US map on our screens. Uh, you have learned, I think, in this geographic visualization session how to create a simple map, right? Now what I'm trying to help you with is an advanced map. You see a pie chart in these maps. How do we do that? Now what is this representing? Now if you see carefully, the size of the pie chart is representing the sales of the category. The smaller the size means the lesser the sales. And what is this pie representing? The pie is representing split of product category. Now, if you see in Washington, furniture accounted for 170,000 units of sales, and technology accounted for 258,000 units of sales. In Illinois, it's 240,000 versus 240. Again, it's equal to 40,000 to 40,000. In New York, technology is 397,000 and furniture is 229,000. So again, in a chart, the size of the pie is representing the amount of sales. So the highest sales is by what region is being donated in the depicted in the circle of the pie, and within the pie we have the split of the product category. So 3D kind of map, which is advanced, which shows you how to create a visualization which creates a severe impact, which shows you how are my sales being allocated to different states in the United States, different we have 50 states in US. So how are those divided? How is my each state performing, each region performing, and within that highest sale, what is the highest selling product category? So that would be shown by the split of the pie charts. So let's learn how to build this one. And if your laptops and Tableau on, please do it alongside so that you learn it for life. So in the dimensions, you have a field called state of province. You double click on that, you would see a map coming up, and you double click on sales. right? So now the sales have been depicted, and in the show me tab, choose show me, I will create this map. There are two options to create maps. The first one represents probably the circles, and the second one represents uh, uh, the amount of sales by the color coding. So the darker the color, the highest the sales. Now this itself means that California is the highest selling region, Indiana is the second lowest, New York is the probably the third lowest, Texas and Florida are accounting, and Washington are the top regions for this category. Now I want to see what is in this category, which is more as in the product category, and I would want to denote by the side of the pie as I just showed you. What I would do is I would duplicate this field latitude generated. I'll pick up latitude generated and drag and drop it here. So you would see that the two charts, very similar charts, you could just copy and paste here, drag and drop it here, this way, or you can just pick it up from measures and drop it here. So two charts exactly same have been formed, representing the exact same information. And now if you see on this marks window between the dimensions tab and the sheet, there's a marks window which shows you all the first chart and the second chart. So if you click on the first chart, this all meter would apply to this one. If you click on this one, this meter would apply to this one. Now, what I would do is, I would choose the second one. This is the first one. I go to the second one. From automatic, from the meter, I choose pi. You see the maps being changed to pi, but the product categories haven't yet been assigned. We will pick up the product category and put it into colors. And now you would see the pie charts splitting up. How have they split up? They've split up by the sales of each product category. I want to increase the size. I will pick up sales and I want to differentiate using the sales. That highest selling item should have the biggest pie and the lowest selling item should have the lowest pie. I'll pick up sales and drag and drop it into size. Now you would see the size for California, Washington, New York, and Illinois would go up. Now what I need to do now, I will click on this small arrow on the right hand side and say dual axis. What this would do for me is to overlap both these charts, is to paste the second one on the first one and create this beautiful visualization. I go to size again, I increase and decrease the size of the pie charts based on what you want to represent. And this is the analysis for you. You can pick a product category, put into labels, and make it more visually appealing. This looks bad, so I'll just remove it. Makes it the way you want. So that's a geographic map with the pie charts, which shows you how the states are placed, which states account for the maximum amount of sales. Within those sales, what is the split of the product categories? So all this information in just one simple chart. Is it clear? Can anybody of you have been able to do this while I'm doing that? Is it clear? I see somebody in the chat box. So clear, great. Anybody wants me to repeat this? I'll just very quickly repeat this for the convenience of all. Let's do it once again. What we need to do is pick up state and province. We'll pick up sales, and now this chart has automatically been formed. We'll choose this chart from the show me tab, which represents by color. I'll duplicate this chart. I'll pick up latitude and place it right here. So my charts have been duplicated. Two charts exactly representing the same information have now been created. Two submeters have been allocated to. The first one is the upper chart and the lower one is the lower chart. So go to the lower one. From automatic, I choose pie, and to create a pie, I will have to assign a product category into the colors. I hope you know how to create a pie chart. You would see a pie coming up. You would see a pie coming up, and now you can increase the size of the pie. I want to differentiate the size of the pie based on the sales volume. So I'll pick up sales, I'll put it into size, and now you would see the state with the highest sale that would have the biggest pie chart. All we need to do is now we need to duplicate this, overlap this. We'll click here and create a dual axis. Now you can play around. You can increase or decrease the size of this pie chart. So this is one 3D chart which I wanted to share with all of you. Uh, a pie chart with a map with the pie chart. So I hope this is clear now. Any questions, anybody? Feel free to share in the chat box. Great. So moving ahead. Okay. Again, another interesting chart which I want to share with all of you is a funnel chart. How do we create a funnel chart? And what is a funnel chart? So funnel chart would be like, let's talk about my categories, my highest selling category on the top, and it would drill down to the bottom. So this is an impactful way of a representation of what your probably categories and subcategories are doing. This is what I mean when I say a funnel chart. This shows you that office machines are the highest selling categories, uh, tables and telecommunications, the lowest selling are rubber bands. So we need to create something like this funnel. And how do we do that? The message should be loud and clear. The message should be very much clear of what you're creating. And let's learn how to create a funnel chart. We'll go to a sheet, delete this one. We'll choose the product category, subcategory. I can't do this. Just give me a second. Oh, there is some problem in my tab view. I don't see this working. Yeah. So you choose product subcategory, and they have now come up. You choose sales, and now let's create a simple chart. How do we sort it? By descending order. Choose this button, click this button, and this is now sorted by a descending order. Now what we need to do is to create an exact mirror image of this chart and put it to the left hand side. How will we do this? There's a field called sales. We'll create a field called negative sales. Again, a calculate field, what we learned in the previous session. Very simple calculation, minus sales. That's it. This would mean a negative sales. Minus sales, and we're good to go. We click OK. Now we're going to pick up this negative sales and drag and drop it on the left hand side of this sales. Now you would see that something like a funnel chart has already come up. How do we make sure that the lines between these go away? We'll go to size. We'll try and increase the size. There we go. How do we make it more and more impactful? We'll pick up product categories. We'll put it into colors. And there you see that the highest selling items are in technology. The third highest is also technology. The fifth highest in technology. The lower part of the funnel, all the 5-6 products of categories are all office supplies. That is the analysis which you could probably take out from here as to how to create a funnel chart, how to see the sales figure from top till the bottom, and how to then take the next steps. Is it clear? Should I repeat? I'll repeat it for everybody.
When to use funnel chart, by the way? Please repeat that.
Sorry, ma'am?
When to use the funnel chart? What is the use of it?
The use is, ma'am, basically when you are representing this figure to your management, whenever you are probably representing the sales figures or profit figures or discount figures, you can do it in a simple bar chart. Definitely you can do, the message would be the same, but the final chart would look a little more attractive, would look a little more visually appealing. So it represents the same information, whether it is sales or profits or discounts.
Okay.
Any more questions, anybody? Okay, so the next is a word chart. Now I'll give you an example, and this is something which I usually do it in some of the analysis which I have done. In your college, I'm sure a lot of teachers and faculty members must have been involved in various things wherein they ask students to fill up surveys. And when they do, most of the questions asked would be objective type questions. But at the end, you would usually ask, "Hey, give me a short feedback of this session." Even in today's session, wherein you're filling up the feedback forms, you might ask how the session could have been done better. The students would be required, or the participants would be required to type in their responses. Uh, the human resources team in any corporation is basically doing a lot of text analytics day in and day out, and I have been involved myself. uh, Imagine the people who leave the organization, the exit interviews are always done, right? So the HR managers, they usually do this interview with the outgoing staff as to understand what went wrong, understand what their views are on the company, on the management, and to probably you know identify a pattern of the problems which the outgoing managers or the employees have faced, and to take corrective actions. uh, there are forms which we receive day in and day out, such as, "Hey, tell me about your motivation factor. Why do you want to stay in this company, or what matters for you the most?" So these kind of things, when the respondents are asked to answer, how do you analyze those responses? You obviously cannot read and interpret when there are a lot of audience, when there are 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 members in an organization. How do you define the most common responses? How do you identify the key words? How do you identify the key problems? How do you identify the key motivation factors? So let's learn how to do this. I created this data in Excel sheet in the raw data. So you might not have this already. I'll share the revised one with you, and you can probably practice it in your own time. I'll teach you how to do this. Let's let's learn how to create a word chart. There will be a field called motivation factor. Let's double click on this one. We'll pick up this motivation factor and put it into the text. You would see this comes in a textual format, right? And in the size, you need to put up the number of records in the measures. Now, what this means, that I am basically telling Tableau to put the number of records inside, as in, if the development word has occurred most, then the size should be the maximum. If leaves have come up the least time, so the size should be minimum. And then you can put up motivation factors into colors, and you can clearly see that development is the reason why people want to stay in an organization. Promotion matters to them the most. Now the size, because our data is limited to just 10-15 parameters, we are very clear. But if the data is huge, uh, if the responses do not match, so the common themes would be identified. And there it is a situation when this type of visualization becomes really important, when you're able to identify the exact thoughts, the exact sentiments, because it's text and it's difficult to read the text. The exact thoughts and sentiment would come up, and that's one way of a little bit of text analytics, wherein you are supposed to identify themes. So this becomes very useful in that case when you are to read the surveys and various responses which people give day in and day out. So that's a kind of a word art or a text analytics in Tableau. Any questions here? Do you want me to repeat this? Is everyone clear? I'll just very quickly repeat this. Pick up this field, put it, drag and drop into the text. You would see this coming up. Number of records, go into the size, and you would see, uh, and then you choose text from the marks. You would see the numbers which have been most common have been, put up the highest size, because we have done it this way. And if you want to increase it more visually appealing, you can just color code it differently. So that's word art in Tableau. That's some sort of text analytics. And very useful tool for analysis. Any questions, anybody? Okay, then we'll move forward. Uh, we'll learn how to create a donut chart. Now, I must agree that donut chart is no different than pie, and the information which it represents is exactly the same. You can create a pie chart and you can divide into various heads depending on what the information is, and the donut chart would give the same sort of information. There's no new information which a donut chart could particularly assume, but it's a different way of visualization. So let's learn how to create a donut chart. In Excel it is very simple, in Power BI it is very simple, but in Tableau it's a little complex way of doing this. So it's made by a combination of few pie charts, but the information which it represents is going to be the same. So how do we do that? Let's choose product category. Let's choose sales, and let's create a pie chart. A very simple way of creating a pie chart with, I'm very sure all of you already know this, right? Now what we need to do is, interestingly, we need to pick up the number of records and put it into rows. And now because this is sum, this would split up into the three parts. I need to go to measures and choose average. Now average number of records, meaning because they are one, it would split up and one pie chart would have been formed. I'll repeat this exercise because I need to duplicate this chart. I'll do this again. I'll go to average, and this is done. So two of my pie charts have been created. What I need to do is overlap these two pie charts and do some operations here. Now if you see, we'll go in the lower chart, we'll decrease the size of this lower chart and remove the product category from the colors. Now a blank circle would come up, which is gray in color. And if I go to this one and I say dual axis, this would overlap. But this is not in the right way. I need to click on the right axis and I need to click on synchronize axis. Now you would see that a donut chart has come up with a gray part in between. Now how do I remove this gray part? I'll go to this below column, I'll go to colors and choose color to be white. And now you would see that a donut chart is representing the same information as a pie chart. The amount of information or the usefulness of the information does not change here. The information which you're communicating remains the same, but it's in a different format. It's in a different chart. It's in a different way we are doing this. Any questions here?
Can you repeat that?
Sure, I will repeat this. It's very simple. We need to begin in the same way as we do it with the product category. We need to double click on product category. We need to double click on sales and you would see the number of sales in each product category comes up. We'll create a pie chart, a simple pie chart. I'm very sure all of you know how to do this. We'll go to the number of records. We'll put up here and choose average, not sum. We'll duplicate this number of records, choose average. You would see the two pie charts have been created. And once you have created these two pie charts, in the lower pie chart, we need to remove the product category from color, so that is no color bifurcation here. We will change the color to white, and now you cannot see this chart because it's white in color, and we will say dual axis. We will reduce the size and you will see that the size reduces, and now we'll synchronize the axis and you will see the outer chart is the donut chart. In the middle, in the lower chart, you can just change the color to white. Are we clear on this map?
Yes, yes.
Great. Anybody else have a question on how to do this? Are you all doing it simultaneously?
There is one more question. Can I ask?
Yeah, please go on, ma'am.
See, when we are counting number of records, there are number of dimensions we are having. Like we are having customer name, product name, or maybe the order ID or the order date. So when we are having various such kind of these dimensions, which one we have to select to find out the number of records?
A number of records, this number of records field is automatically created by Tableau. It's a calculated field which Tableau does it for us. So whenever you need to find the number of records, you can clearly see. So let me just show it. If you choose product subcategory and you choose the number of records, so this is the number of times this product subcategory appears in the database. So it's a simple way of calculating how many times this particular item comes up in the raw data. So number of records automatically comes in the Tableau. And when you need to perform a calculation which is something beyond this number of records can calculate, then you need to employ and use the calculated fields which we just learned in the previous session. Did I answer your question, ma'am?
Yeah.
Any more questions, anybody? Okay. I'll now take up another one. Now this is an area chart, probably one not so difficult to understand. Uh, we all learn that how things have been changing day-wise and month-wise, how COVID cases are changing, the stock price movement. So how do we do that? We'll choose the order date, and we'll choose the representation by month. We'll remove the year and the quarter. We'll choose sales because that's what we have been doing, and we'll create a area chart, a simple chart where the areas have come up, right? And let's say you want to split it by product categories or product subcategory. Just pick a product subcategory and put it into colors. This becomes too messy, so let's pick up category and put it into colors. So you would see a completely different chart coming up which shows you the sales by months. So from month 1 to month 12, uh, with the bifurcation into colors as product category, you would clearly see how they're placed. The furniture is the blue one, the office supply is the orange one, technology is the lowest one. From month 3 and 4, probably the office supplies were the lightest. For month 10 and 11, the office supplies has done really good work. Technology at the same time was performing well. From November to December, furniture did not do well, technology did not do well, the overall business went down. So this kind of analysis becomes very useful once you're doing some analysis when it is date-wise or it is months-wise or year-wise, and also calculating stock price movement, daily, hourly, weekly. So these kind of analysis becomes very important in those cases. This was a simple one. Another one, I think that's probably the last one which I want to discuss with you, and I'll be
Can I have one
open to
question?
all the questions. Yes, ma'am, please.
See, when you have shown this diagram, your diagram is consuming the whole screen of yours, but my diagram is consuming only the half screen of my screen, half
Okay.
part of my
So,
screen.
ma'am,
So what to do?
I'll just tell you. Is it being showed like this?
No, it is no product category is on the left and right hand side only, but this diagram is consuming half of my screen only.
Ma'am, probably you can just drag and drop. So there's an arrow that will come up, and you will just you know.
No, that is taking only category on this side, but then this diagram is not expanding.
I think
Yeah,
that's
this
just the.
diagram can you minimize size?
Uh,
How to do that expansion? So that
are
it
you
will
asked?
consume some screen of mine.
See, I'll just show you. like this.
Something like that it is happening.
Yeah, so just find where the arrow is, just drag and drop and increase the size of the chart. So see the arrow appears here, and I can just, by the click of
So
mouse,
from where you get this?
I mean, you'll have to just hover over your mouse and see where the arrow comes in. Usually it comes where the lines in the back end ends. So there'll be small, very light lines in the background, and where those lines end, there'll be an arrow which comes up, and you can just very similar to an Excel where you just point out the cursor and get that arrow to yourself.
Okay. But then you shift it from screen.
Also, ma'am, you can choose this
Achha.
from standard width. You can fit height, or then you can probably choose the standard option here. From
Yeah,
this
I
hand.
got it.
Yeah, you got it.
Fit width. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
fit
you.
width. Perfect. Any more questions, anybody? It's great to see you, Swati ma'am. You're working simultaneously and getting the most of it. Anybody else have a question? Okay. So the last one which I want to discuss with you is outlier analysis, and then we'll be open to questions and queries. What is an outlier analysis? So often we would come into situations wherein you know, uh, we are in a situation wherein we need to understand what is the typical range my, you know, profits are, and is there any outlier? Is there any particular category or subcategory which is performing way beyond expectations? If you talk of your college, uh, let's say you evaluate people from 0 to 100, the entire class scores between 60 to 80. Is there an outlier? As in, is there somebody who's scoring like say 99 or 35? What are the outliers? How do you identify those outliers? We'll learn how to do this outlier analysis. Very simple way of doing this. We'll go to a new sheet. We'll choose product subcategory. We'll choose average profit. This is the calculated field which we learned to create in the previous session. In the Show Me tab, we'll choose this tab, Box and Whisker Plots. So this would give you, and we'll pick up product subcategory and put it to labels. That copiers and facts account for the highest average profit, which is 1318. All the other subcategories have a profit between 200 minus 200 to 400. This is something which Tableau calculates it by itself and gives you an outlier. Now imagine the amount of analysis this small chart could do for you. Identifying outliers, identifying categories which cost the highest, identifying suppliers which give the highest margins, identifying students who rank the lowest. This could be very useful when it comes to real life examples like these. So this is a small example of an outlier analysis. I'll repeat this so that everybody of you is clear. We'll choose product subcategory, we'll choose average profit. Simply we'll choose the box and whisker plot, put this one in the Show Me tab. Tableau would automatically do the job for you, would define a range, and you would see a small dot which appears at the top that this average profit in the copiers and facts is way more than every other category. So probably you can focus more on selling this item. So these were the few examples of certain visualizations I wanted to share with you. I also know that you have studied Pareto analysis and waterfall charts. So I hope you have already learned that. So a combination of all these advanced visual figures, 3D charts, pie charts, donut charts, funnel maps, word arts. This becomes really useful when you create very interactive and useful dashboards. Once you prepare dashboards and learn how to create and prepare dashboards, you would realize the importance of calculated fields and parameters and things like this. So we do have time, so I'm open to answering any query, any question you have. Do you want me to repeat anything from the previous session or this session? I'm happy to help you. If you want to share your thoughts, don't just interact generally on Tableau. I'm happy to do that.
Can you quickly show word art again? Just
Sure.
show, no, not to explain, just to see that.
Here it is, one. Should I do it? Should I prepare it?
Will be better.
Okay, no worries. Uh, I just created a field here, which is called motivation factor. I'll just pick this up. I'll drag and drop into text so that I do not want any numeric values associated with them. I'm just dealing with the textual values. I'll choose text in the mark so that it doesn't change. And I'll pick up the number of records, which is in calculate field which Tableau automatically creates for you, and put it into size. So what I'm telling Tableau to do is the text which has appeared the maximum number of times, increase the size of that. So if this is a motivation factor, you can clearly conclude that development is very important for all the employees of this organization. So, and now you can color code it if you want. If you don't, you can just leave it here. And here is your analysis. Is it fine, ma'am? Should I repeat it again?
Yeah. Thank you.
Great. Anybody else? Do you have any more questions for me? Okay, then. That is all from my side. Thank you for being a great audience. I hope I was able to add some value to the knowledge which you have already gained in the previous sessions. And I wish you great luck for the upcoming sessions. Tableau is a great tool. It's really useful when it comes to real life examples. So congratulations to your faculty who's doing this, to the college who's taking this initiative, and thank you to all the faculty members for having me here to interact with all of you to do this. Thank you very much, and I wish you a great learning experience ahead.
Thank you, Prashant sir, for a throttling session on word art for the text analysis, donut chart, area chart, and outline analysis. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. Dear
Sir.
participants, with that, we have come to the end of what it seems like a long journey. Now we'll begin the validity function. Participants, here comes the most exciting part of this program. Yes, it is the time for the photo session. Now I kindly request all the participants to turn on your camera so that we can click a group photo.
So should I stay here or should I sign off?
Please just stay for the photo session, sir.
Okay, sure.
Sir, sir,
Yes, ma'am.
how to take? I want to take the group out. How to take turn on camera? I don't.
Sorry, ma'am. Are you using a laptop or are you using a phone?
I'm using phone only.
I'm afraid in phone it would be a little difficult. In laptops, if you choose the grid screen option, it would be easier.
Once again, I request the participants to turn on the camera. Mr. Satyamurthy sir, Dr. Rakesh sir, Dr. Saeed, Dr. Tenmari ma'am, Dr. Sarana Kumar, Mr. Ghana, Mr. Mohan Raj, Mr. Malakonda Reddy, Mr. Das sir, Mr. Wakande, Ms. Nikita. So I request these participants to turn on their camera, please. Mr. Prakash sir, Prashant Shekhar, Prema, Pragata, Sadhvish Mayuri, Selvarani ma'am, Shahnas ma'am. So please do turn on your camera. Mr. Jitendra, Mr. Siddharth, Dr. Kanimari Suguna,
Finished, sir.
thank you participants for your kind cooperation. A valuable feedback might be the fruit you reap for what you have achieved. Participants, I request you to please give your valuable feedbacks so that we can get to know the yin and yang of this program and tweak ourselves to the finest. Participants, please unmute yourself and give your valuable feedbacks.
Hello.
Ma'am,
This session should be nice. I learned a lot for data visualization, and they have told the comparison between the art tool and the data visualization. So this session is supposed to be nice.
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you so much, ma'am.
A very good afternoon. Can I say?
Rajesh Maurya, sir, you are on mute.
Mr. Anshu,
Yes, sir.
your feedbacks, please.
Sir, it's a very informative and very excellent session. I am already using Tableau, but when I joined this session, I have very informative and very excellent session from the sir and those teachers. And about my future, I asked them. They are very helpful, and I even contact some of them. It's very useful. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anshu.
Uh, can I say?
Yes, ma'am. Swati, ma'am, you can say
Yeah.
now.
A very good afternoon to all present over here. The sessions were very good. All sessions were informative and interactive. So I'm congratulating this college and the team, the efforts what they have taken. But one thing I just like to say that if the materials which was, the PPTs and presentations what were done by the presenters, if we could have been distributed or given to the candidates would be great at the end of every day. Because see, getting certificate is something different thing, but doing learning at the same time and grasping it very fast so that you can learn more and more. Because what I found over here is W is very fantastic. Like you can do n number of things. Now I am confident that I can create a graph, but then now I'm worried about that how to interpret it. Okay, I think that is one important thing which I have to work upon now a lot. So so still at the time of creating this different this graph representations, I found that if these presentation could have been given to us, I could have done that repetitively in the, because every day we are learning something new. So it's my suggestion, it's my request rather, that if possible, from next time if you're conducting these sessions, I would like to join that seriously. But one thing is, like, if you can give that particular presentation, that link, if you can provide at the end of the day, we can repeat it. Because you know, as we are doing it full of the time, it's very difficult sometimes to sit every time on a machine continuously for the full day from 10 to 4. So it's a request that if you can, like, if something I miss out in between, if you can get that at the end of the day, even I can do it very fast and I grab that particular things. So that's a request. Otherwise, the
Ma'am,
session was really very
excuse me.
good, wonderful.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, all these presentations, everything will be given as a link to you, ma'am. You can view it in YouTube.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
After
Congratulations to the full team.
1
It's
week,
good
we will
effort.
upload, we will give the link.
Yes, madam. Thank you.
We will
Thank you,
give the
everyone.
link. You can view it in YouTube.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Soumya ma'am.
Good
So
afternoon,
participants,
everyone.
no need to worry. All the day sessions, PPTs, all the presentations, we will upload it in YouTube and we will give the link to you after 1 week. We will post it in that WhatsApp group.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, am I audible? It's Vidisha Sarkar from Christ University.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay. Thank you very much, the host, and then the resource person, and my dear fellow participants. So I would like to give my feedback in terms of few parameters like time management. It was perfect the way you, each and every resource person, the way they have managed the time. Then the quality of content, it was worth appreciating, I must say, because topic selection, everything was so perfect and was so relevant for academician, for researcher, for like maybe in fact people who are about to step into the corporate. And overall it was a superb STTP, and I'm thankful to the host for organizing it. Thank you. And it'll be great if you can share Prashant sir's email ID and contact number, if you don't mind.
Thank you, Vidisha ma'am. Kadir sir, yes, please, you can give your feedback.
Hello. First of all, good afternoon to honorable present here. On the outskirt, I would like to thank entire committee for organizing this wonderful session. We had a Tableau, like a tool which we give day-to-day use in data analysis. I think hope all the participants get benefit out of this. Thank you. Thank you for the organization. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Kadir sir. Anyone else wishes to register their feedback? Thank you, participants, for your kind feedbacks. Dear participants, we have some. Yes, please.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. I am Nagar, sir, from Hyderabad. Before the workshop, I don't know anything about Tableau, but after attending the workshop, I came to know about how to visualize the graphs by using Tableau. It is a very useful and informative session. Thank you for the organizers for conducting an excellent workshop on Tableau. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Nagasudha ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Dear participants, we have some instructions regarding certificates and quiz. According to AICTE norms, certificates will be provided only for the participants with over 80% attendance and 60% in the quiz. The quiz will be conducted for 100 marks and it will contain 20 questions. Link for the quiz will be posted in the chat box and also in the WhatsApp group. You have 3 hours to complete it. We will send the certificates to your registered email ID within 1 week. All the resource materials and PPT will be shared through WhatsApp. Now, I would like to call upon coordinator of this program, Professor Usha Rani, to propose a vote of thanks.
Gratitude. It's not merely a word, it's an indefinable feeling. Thank you is one such emotion. I consider it's a great privilege to propose the vote of thanks to all the dignitaries who have witnessed this AICTE sponsored short-term training program on Tableau data visualization tool for researchers. It has a memorable and successful event. On behalf of IFET College of Engineering, I convey my regards and hearty thanks to all our resource persons who graced us with their deep insights on Tableau, which will set a perfect platform for blooming researchers to deliver their contribution in the research field. I would like to express my gratitude to the organizing team, coordinator, Professor S. Matilda, Vice Principal and Dean Academic, without whose guidance this program would not be what it is today. I would also like to thank the co-coordinator and my friend Professor S. Umadevi for shouldering me throughout this program. I place my sincere thanks to our HOD, Professor P. Kanimori, for her support in all our endeavors. I extend my thanks to our faculty members for their valuable support. I wish to express my gratitude to the management, principal, and dean placement for encouraging us in all our undertakings. Last but not least, my heartfelt thanks to all the participants from various institutions who have made this event a grand success. Thank you all once again for making this STTP the most incredible one. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, participants, for your patience and support. Stay safe and stay strong. We wish good health and happiness to all of you. Thank you all.
Sir Prashant, sir, thank you, sir.